Thank you for your time today. Here's what I'd like to do for the next few moments. I would like to take us back to the book of Leviticus that gave us the precedence to follow some of the quarantine measures. I want to take a few moments to explain some of the principles behind the decisions that we've been making. I want to offer some warnings, and I want to discuss the next 3 church gatherings, that being May 31st, AM and PM, and June the 3rd, Wednesday night. The book of Leviticus in chapter 14 speaks about, at the discovery of leprosy, that there was to be a quarantining, that you were to quarantine the individual in their home for a period of time. But there also came a time when the priest would inspect the home, and the home would be clean, and he would offer a sacrifice. And according to Leviticus 14, verses 48 and 49, the home would be pronounced clean, and you could re-enter. We are planning on re-entering. We've had to make several decisions, and I appreciate your patience over the last 8 or 10 weeks of this pandemic and determining what we should do, what we should not do. So thank you. As your pastor, thank you for just being willing to be patient with us as a team. Our principles for the decision making that we were a part of were these. We wanted to be safe. We wanted ourselves to be safe. We wanted every one of you to be safe. Loving God, loving other people. That's our mandate from the scriptures. How do we do that well? And we felt that loving our neighbor meant that we needed to make take some precautions, and that's why we did not cease gathering completely. Well, we met out here in the parking lot. And so safety, we wanted to be safe but not fearful. And so I hope that our decisions have communicated caution and safety and not fear. We've also wanted to be compliant to Romans 13. How can we honor our authorities? We didn't feel our religious liberty was infringed upon because what was being asked was generally applicable to all entities, whether it be churches or businesses. It just wasn't churches that was being asked to close. It was a generally applicable instruction and request. And so we felt that we've honored Romans 13. But we also have to be biblical. We have to be what a biblical church is. And just because there's convenient things out there, and just because there's ways to do this more creatively, doesn't mean it's biblical. Because we can do things and still not be doing what the Bible says is what a church is supposed to be. And so we've tried to maintain just a biblical footing. That's why we have done the drive-in church, is because we feel it fulfills one of the foundational principles of what a church is. You read 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 4, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 20, Matthew 18, verse 17, and you'll see that the church is, who the church is a church of gathered people. And so the church at its core must gather together. Hebrews 10 says, don't forsake the assembling. The very term, as we've mentioned in earlier videos, for church is the gathered people. So these are the principles that have kind of been the underlayment of our decision making. Once again, I thank you for your patience and for your compliance. Now, a couple words of warning as we take these next steps over these next few weeks. As we plan on re-entering into this building, I want to warn us, all of us, of some things. one warning. I want to warn us of the preservation, or I want to warn us to preserve unity, to prevent division and schisms to creep in. And by that I mean it's a very imperative now for us to be respectful and sensitive toward one another. There's so many places on the continuum and on the spectrum that people can fall upon in how to respond to COVID-19. And you may fall and see COVID-19 through one lens, and another brother may view COVID-19 from another lens. And I'm asking us just to continue to be sensitive toward that. When we gather and people have masks on and you don't, I pray you are sensitive to that and you're understanding. And in your outward expression, I have no doubt that we'll be kind and considerate. But you know what? Anybody can show a face. I'm asking us, even on our inside, to govern our own hearts and to not speak ill or be critical of our brother or sister who's responding differently than us. We may come to our conclusion and feel that's the best decision, but just because others come to a different conclusion, I pray that we'll use this time to be sensitive toward one another. I tell you, another warning that I want to give us is this is an opportunity for people to hide behind spiritual laziness. As we come back in, some people will hide behind the veneer, the excuse of caution, when they're not really being cautious. They just like this new format, and I just want to encourage us all to not give in to spiritual laziness. When we gather, it's biblical. We're not gathering because this is what Pastor Jason wants or the staff wants. We gather because this is what God has called us to do, and this is what a New Testament church is. So I encourage you, watch out for the excuse of spiritual laziness. We enter the summer months. Our summer travel plans are ramping up. So, but once again, just be careful and cautious, not to hide behind the veneer of spiritual laziness. Something else I want to challenge us to. I want us to not be fearful people. Proverbs says to be bold as a lion. And I want us to continue to do that, to be bold as lions. And if worry and fear still grip your heart, then I want you to pray that the ways of the Lord and that the refuge of God would be a reality for you. Church, I love you. And regardless of the season or the context, there's dangers and pitfalls to watch out for. And so let's just be careful as we take steps of re-entering. So what are the next 3 days, the next 3 services? What do they look like? Sunday morning, May the 31st, we will worship out here in the parking lot like we have for the last several weeks. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. And I just pray you come, bring some chairs, bring your Bible, stand and sing when we sing, study the Word with us, pray to the God of the heavens as we worship. But we're going to be out here in the parking lot Sunday morning, May the 31st. Sunday night, May the 31st, we're going to re-enter. We feel this is wise because our Sunday night format is already broken down into smaller groups spread out all over the building. And so this is what that will be our plan. We're going to re-enter on Sunday evening. Now, there'll be 3 entry points, and those 3 entry points will have and house our different ministries. So you will be receiving in the next day or so an email from Ms. Anna sharing the plan for our children's ministry on Sunday night, May the 31st. And I'll just give you a heads up, the drop-off for that will be right down beside the church into the kids zone. That'll be drop-off and that'll be pick-up. So when you come into church, if you have children that are in the kids ministry, drive down, drop them off, go behind the church, park out here in the parking lot, and then enter in the pertinent entrance for where you're going. Okay? So that'd be For the children, children's ministry will come down here on Sunday night, the 31st. Our other ministry, so if you are an adult and are in a D group, the double glass doors underneath the awning is where you will enter. Our D group groups will have room assignments, and you'll meet in that wing of the church, upstairs and downstairs. Your D group leaders will be given the room assignment, so check with your D group leader and they will give you that information. Many D groups will be meeting on campus. Even if your D group's meeting on campus and you don't feel like you're ready to come on campus, there are accommodations through Zoom for you to still be a part of that meeting. Students will also meet in this wing in the gym, and so you will enter through the double glass doors and then go straight down the steps into the gym. Now, if you're not in a D group, or if you're not a kid or a student, then myself and Mark will be in the sanctuary. You come into the sanctuary, entrance right here, sit down, space out. Our crowds on Sunday night are generally lower, and so we can just simply spread out, sit as families in the sanctuary, and we'll be just fine. At every entrance and every points in between, we will have hand sanitizer stations. Water fountains will be closed. Bathrooms will be opened. And so we're just asking, I'm asking you, the 3 W's will be the guidelines that I'm asking for Sunday night, the 31st. That is wash. Just be a good hygienic person and wash your hands. Okay, wash it regularly. The other W is wave. Let's just these first few times as we come into the house of the Lord, let's just wave at each other. Okay, that removes the awkwardness. That way, it's just a ground rule. Hey, I'm not going to shake your hand right now. I'm just going to wave because I don't know where you are, and that's okay. That's cool. Let's just wave. All right, we can wave at brothers and sisters just as well as we can hug them. There will come a time when we will shake hands, but right now, let's just wave. And then the 3rd W is worship. Whether you're in a D group, whether you're children in the kids zone, students in the gym, or adults in the sanctuary, we're here to worship. And so that's our plans for the 31st, Sunday night, May 31st. June the 3rd, which is the upcoming Wednesday, we will do what we have been the last few weeks. We will have drive-in church right here in front of the front porch of the sanctuary. We will have drive-in church for our adults. Miss Anna, weather permitting, will be in one of the green spaces with children, and hopefully the weather will accommodate. And then students will be behind the gym doing a outdoor drive-in church service as well on June the 3rd. A lot of stuff, so replay this video, put all that stuff on your calendar. I love you. Thank you for allowing me to pastor with you and serve with you during this time, and I'm excited. I'm excited about these next few days, and I pray and trust that God will move. As Isaiah 64 says, rend the heavens, Lord, tear them open, come down, and do a work like you did in the days of old. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.